Part 30. The First Emigration. Eventually, in the 5th year of the Dawah, the Prophet suggested that the companions head to the Nejusi in Abyssinia. This land has become too constricted for you. For those who want to, why don't you emigrate to the neighboring land of Abyssinia? There is a Christian king there who is a just king, and he will allow you to worship Allah without interfering. The Da'wah became public in the 3rd year of prophethood, signifying that the aforementioned torture and struggle all occurred in an 18-month window, which ultimately became unbearable. In our current age of globalization and transcendent technology, it may be difficult to fathom the true significance of what hijrah entails in 7th century Arabia. In an age where tribal backing, familial prestige, and community ties dictate one's stature and esteem, uprooting oneself to a nearby city instantaneously and dramatically demotes one's quality of life. Suddenly moving to another land entirely is therefore a truly drastic measure. With no passports or bank transfers, an impromptu hijrah compromises one's safety and wealth. Rich companions became poor overnight, as the secretive nature of their departure meant that they could not sell their property or even carry their money with them. This all indicates the extent of the difficulty they endured in Mecca to even consider such a move. The first to emigrate were 12 men and 4 women. The great Uthman ibn Affan was amongst them, alongside his wife Ruqayyah, daughter of the Prophet. The rest were Uthman ibn Mazun, Abdur Rahman ibn Auf, Zubair ibn Al-Awwam, Musab ibn Umair, Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, Abu Salama and Salama, Josh ibn Riyab, Abdullah ibn Jash, Abu Hudhaifa ibn Utbah, Salah bint Suhail, Amir ibn Rabi'ah, and Layla bint Abi Hathma. It may be observed that they were all noblemen and women of the Quraysh, with the notable absence of the servant-class Muslims. As slaves, they did not have the freedom to emigrate despite needing it the most. Abu Bakr made intention to join them, but as he embarked, the chieftain of a neighboring tribe, Ibn al-Daghina, saw them leaving and asked why. Ibn al-Daghina had a good working relationship with Abu Bakr, and after hearing the story, he said,
"Someone like you does not deserve to leave the land of Mecca. If your people have persecuted you, let me go and speak on your behalf and grant you my protection."
Abu Bakr's tribe had relinquished their tribal protection, so Ibn al-Daghina offered his own. As he was not from the Quraysh, he was required to seek permission from the Quraysh. As a trade partner and neighboring tribe leader, the Quraysh accepted, but on one condition: Abu Bakr must not pray publicly. Other than the Prophet, Abu Bakr was one of the only people fearless enough to pray in front of the Kaaba, and the Quraysh complained that it was impacting the people. Abu Bakr agreed and instead made an extension to his house as a makeshift mosque. Abu Bakr then continued to pray, but from within his house. However, Abu Bakr's recitation was very moving and emotional. Ibn Ishaq narrates that the women and children of the Quraysh would gather outside his house in amazement and marvel at his recitation. Aisha mentioned about her father.
He was a man who would be easily brought to tears out of emotion.
Abu Bakr abided by the condition and prayed in his house. But due to his impact even from within his own home, the Quraysh sent a message to Ibn al-Daghina notifying him that they had updated their condition to ban his recitation, even from within his own home. Ibn al-Daghina then requested that Abu Bakr stop praying aloud, or else he would be forced to rescind his protection. Abu Bakr resolutely replied,
"I return your protection and accept the protection of Allah."
Abu Bakr remained in Mecca, relying solely on his unwavering trust in Allah. The Prophet's suggestion of hijrah demonstrates that not all non-Muslim lands are the same. Abyssinia and Mecca were both non-Muslim, but the former allowed freedom of religion while the latter was hostile. Further, it validates the notion of living in such a land. The companions who emigrated did not immediately return once Medina was established as a Muslim land. In fact, they remained in Abyssinia for 14 years, and the Prophet only recalled them after the Battle of Haybar. The Prophet chose Abyssinia for a number of reasons. As mentioned, their Negus was a man of justice and integrity. Abyssinia was also familiar to them as they had previously established some trade, and it was relatively practical to reach, albeit via the Red Sea. In addition to this, they were Christians, who were much more cordial due to the shared notion of prophethood. Within Christian theology, they were closer to the teachings of Christ compared to the now mainstream teachings of Christianity. Upon hearing about the prophet's teachings, the Negus said,
"This comes from the same well as that of Prophet Musa.